So this is Claire and Joe. They were first-time home buyers who very much wanted to understand the process of how to become a homeowner and also how I look at things from the perspective of education and financial literacy. So they went through the process, they bought a beautiful home in Philly, and here's a little bit more about their experience.
Surprisingly smooth. We went into a lot of it not knowing what we didn't know, I think. And I think we learned things at a good pace and as we needed to know them. So I don't think at any point I didn't feel particularly overwhelmed by information.
Yeah, I mean, we started looking in May, and here we are at the middle of July, and it's all squared away, which was really surprising, which I would give a lot of credit to the really great team that we had in helping us, edit the search, figure out what we're really wanting, what our priorities were, and just being great resources along the way as far as what to look out for, what to pay attention to, and what you maybe don't need to be so hung up on, so that we could, kind of get to this place in a relatively painless way. I mean, truly, as first-time home buyers, stunned by how generally painless this has been. Okay, so Peter was referred to us by a friend who worked with him, and the way this conversation kicked off was she was saying, of all of the people that I worked with in my first-time home buying journey, this was my favorite person. He was constantly available to us. He was very informative, happy to answer any questions multiple times, kind of explain it in layman's terms, and that is how we got started, was based on that recommendation. And now, having gone through the whole thing, I would say I endorse that of Peter and Good Sense and his whole team, just kind of round the clock available and genuinely enthusiastic about helping first-time home buyers in particular, get the place that they want.
Did really feel turn the power, a lot of this is financial literacy stuff, and just knowing you either have the people around you who know to tell you to do these things or have done them themselves. And I'm coming from a place where there's very little historical financial literacy. And so I think Peter's kind of approach to it, both in terms of being approachable towards it and, feeling like you've got kind of an insider on your, someone who knows how to navigate the things that do and don't matter, someone who can just tell you, ignore this scary sounding letter. It's nonsense, I think was very helpful.
I mean, 10 out of 10, couldn't say a single thing. No, truly, Peter recommended you to us, Dave, and the ability to quickly assess a situation and really a property and be like, this is what it's listed for based on the records I see. These are the things that I think could be issues with the space that could crop up. Here's how much I would comfortably offer with something I was buying, was sort of the first thing that locked us in, because you noticed all the same stuff that we were concerned about. And we were like, okay, we want to get to know this guy. And then I would just say your approach to laddering to this idea of sort of, generational wealth and how to make your space work harder for you to be able to get to the next place was very appealing to us as the types of home buyers that we want to be. So.
Oh.
I have one, but if you, or do you want to think about it? Okay. The big thing for me was talking to people I know who have already been through this. It makes it, first of all, not nearly as daunting when you know somebody who is currently a first-time home buyer. So utilizing your own network to get you kind of off the ground was huge for us. And then, I mean, as far as being able to take the initial conversation, I read a lot of reviews of agents. I looked at their Instagrams. I saw the types of properties they were selling for other people, like what neighborhoods they seem to know. I think that can be a good way to back into it if you maybe don't have a friend that has already been through it and like highly endorses their own agent. But you know, it helps to have somebody who's very experienced, who's like from the area or, you know, owns properties in the area, because there's a level of knowledge there that I think is hugely beneficial. Do you have one?
I think a thing that was really helpful, particularly in feeling comfortable to sit down with a realtor, was having gone to some open houses ourselves and just seen what realtors act like in the wild, because you get a decent sense of, you know, granted, everyone's got to sell a little bit, you know, part of the job is salesmanship, completely understand that, but seeing how people approach that, how people, you know, how pushy they are just when you're saying, oh, I'm just looking, like that kind of thing, and what their approach is, how seriously they take you, you know. We had an experience, for example, once where it was like the floor was sloping down and then the realtor was essentially telling us it was raining golden dollar bills out of the shower. And it's like, there's a disconnect here. So I think that was really helpful for us to sort of both get a grasp on what it was just personality-wise without any sort of pressure just from going to open houses. And then when we met with Dave, or you, perspective, I think we're pretty ready on understanding the fit of the personality that we're kind of like looking for.
Yeah, open houses is a good piece of advice for sure.
Open houses with no agenda.
Yeah, just to get a sense of the neighborhoods that you like, how much it costs, to be able to do some early comparisons of like, I can get this much space for this much money here, or this much space, you know. Yeah.
And also, one other thing was just for me personally, was like squaring away the financials. You know, our journey started off in just like looking on Zillow and getting that sweet and accurate Zestimate thrown around. So getting a sense of like what actually a mortgage makes up a mortgage, what actually makes up this payment, was something that like beyond the Zestimate we weren't really aware of, and that was really helped us get it started when we began looking in earnest.
Met with Peter.
Yeah. Bathtub. I love a bath. It's easy. Claire?
Oh my gosh, just like wallpapering the whole thing, or I don't know. Yeah, making it a home, but getting our art up, getting our rugs on the floor, and
I feel like it's worth buying furniture that's like not IKEA furniture, right?
Yeah.
Like investing in something that feels. You're at the point where you're like, I don't know, maybe if one day we have kids, this will be a table they'll like too, and that'll have a memory built into it.
yeah, it's cool. Next chapter stuff.
Yeah.
And as always, if you're interested in learning more, don't hesitate to reach out.